Hey guys, right here. Just want to go ahead and show you guys my GODFALL build. It's a void damage Weakpoint build. It's mostly built around having DualBlades mixed with Ash Meteorite, mixed with Surety Augment. So basically, what happens on this build is you're gonna use your power on your DualBlades. So I'll show you right here. You use your power, and then every single time that you swing and hit an enemy, it's going to expose a weak point. You see? So what's going to end up happening is you're going to just have permanent weak point up. You're going to be knocking down enemies and just doing a ton of damage as well. Alright, so you're going to have dual blades. I'm using Twin Dragons. If you can get dual blades that have a on-hit effect for when you hit a weak point, probably be better. I just don't have any on me. Your amulet, you want Ash Meteorite because it has the weak point effect. You shoot a projectile out that does additional damage. I'm using Sunstill's Crest. I think it's pretty good. It drains the damage from enemies and makes you do a little bit more damage. If you have something better, then you know it is what it is. Ring of the First Sworn. I just have these two rings, honestly, just for a little bit more health for sustainability. Because you do need sustainability, obviously, so that you don't die when you're doing the tower or you're doing dream shards. Both my lifestone and my banner are here just because of the, they have crit and they have crit damage. Honestly, I don't really care that much about lifestone or banners, but I think these ones are pretty decent, and I think Darkstar Crusher is probably the best secondary weapon in the game. It lays down a field that slows enemies by 30%, but I don't know if it's actually 30% because it just slows them by so much. Look at him. It seems more like 80% slow. So anyways, that's how that works. For my augments, I am using Spark, weapon technique charge. You do need a good amount of weapon technique charge just because it can take a little bit of time to build your northern technique with the dual blades. This Twilight Bloom gives crazy amount of weapon technique damage. Like, that's an insane amount, man. Surety as well, you do need to have surety. It makes it so that, like I said, whenever you hit with a weapon attack while in your northern technique, it'll expose a weak point, makes you do more weak point damage as well. This is pretty much what the whole build is centered around. I got Typhoon just because I didn't really have any more options with the amount of power usage that I had and the slot that it was. Breach damage isn't too bad either, so I went ahead and got breach damage on this one. Cloudburst, again, didn't have very many options. We got Glamour. Glamour is actually pretty strong too. 59% damage for each ailment. Very strong, very strong. Loyalty is really good. Helps you build your Archon really quickly, which is great as well because you're gonna have permanent uptime on weak points, like I said. Rift is just a weaker version of Glamour, also very good. 33% damage for each ailment. And then this Godspeed right here is just for a little bit more weapon technique charge. For my skills, I'm not going to go over each one, but you can just take a look here. I pretty much went for everything that gave damage and a little bit of sustainability. I didn't really venture off into things like shield attacks and stuff or takedowns because I don't use them, and I don't use polarity at all, ever. So pretty much just went for stat increases, crit damage, things like that. Things that I use every single time. The small enemies in the game aren't really any kind of problem at all. For the bigger enemies, you just want to use your northern technique, which is going to stun them for a couple seconds in itself. What I do is just heavy attack them over and over because it does a lot of breach damage. Either you usually breach them and kill them just on the spot, and if not, then you'll be able to kill them a couple seconds later. Then when it comes to the bosses, for the most part, either you're going to be able to just completely destroy them in a couple of seconds, or you're going to just stun lock them completely until they're dead, for the most part. So just make sure that you build up your northern technique, drop your banner, pop your Archon, and just burn the boss. Another really important note here is going to be that you want to use a controller. Even if you're playing on PC, you want to make sure that you use a controller, because when you use a controller, the aim assist makes so that you can hit the weak point every single time with ease. And I just want to put an example of how you can stun lock a lot of the bosses from 100% health all the way down to 0. It doesn't work for every single boss, and there's a fair amount of them during the story mode stuff, so going to be in the dream shards that you can't completely stun lock, but your damage is going to be really high either way, so you shouldn't really have any kind of problem with the bosses. The clips that I put in this video of me fighting the bosses is actually before I got the gear that I showed in this video as well. I did have some of it, but my damage is definitely higher than it was before. And as you can see, even on this boss, without Archon Fury, you can completely just stun lock them. There's nothing you can really do, and the damage is still pretty good as well. Alright, so that's the build. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Have a good one.